count on LEX18 News.
The latest on the recovery efforts in Johnson County after deadly flooding. The details coming up.
It's an overwhelming response in Lexington by so many people who want to make a difference in the lives of the Johnson County storm victims.
LEX18 News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Kevin Christopher. Thanks for joining us at 6. We'll begin tonight with Storm Tracker team coverage on the flood recovery in Johnson County. Nancy Cox and Bill Meck are standing by with information about how you can help those victims start over again after losing everything in the string of severe storms. But first, we have some breaking news in Jessamine County. A reported shooting on East Chestnut. Jessica Reyes is live with the breaking details.
Kevin, it's still a very active scene here. As you can see, police have taped off a good part of the block here after they say one man was shot this afternoon. Now, all this unfolded just after 4 o'clock. Investigators are still trying to gather information as to what took place out here. As you can see, there was an ambulance on the scene that just took off a few moments ago, and we know one person was hurt. Right now, we don't know how bad that person's injuries are or who the gunman is. Investigators are out taking pictures and putting down markings on the ground. All this happening near a busy part of Nicholasville, just a few blocks away from Main Street. Of course, this is still a developing situation. As soon as we know more on how that victim is doing or who the gunman is, we'll bring that back to you. For now, we're covering the news live in Jessamine County from the LEX18 mobile newsroom. Back to you.
And back to the devastation facing the people living in Johnson County. There are new developments in the ongoing search and rescue for possible storm victims. Crews found a third body this afternoon. 5 people are still unaccounted for. Brianna Gilroy is live in Johnson County with the latest. Brianna?
It has been a devastating couple of days for everyone here in Johnson County. 3 people have died. The coroner tells us the most recent body found was a 22-year-old man. But among the heartbreak, there's also hope here.
Our driveway getting out of our house was gone, and it came up, the creek came up over top of it, and we haven't had any electric or water.
Matthew McKenzie and his 7 family members are staying at a temporary shelter.
They help me get stuff I need.
For many here in Johnson County, those things include food, water, and a place to sleep.
With no water, no electric, we'll just take them one day by a time. That's all we can do. 60
homes were destroyed during Sunday's flood. People's lives were shattered, but in ruin, recovery has already begun. The American Red Cross has a shelter set up. This afternoon, a church group from Arkansas stopped by to make people lunch.
It's hard to put into words without and see what the people have been through. And see somebody they just lose everything they own in a matter of seconds.
And the local high school is overflowing with donations, helping Gracie Wright and her 3 kids.
Food and paper plates and cups because we have no water or electric.
More help and donations are headed this way to bring a community back on its feet.
We all need to stick together. Everybody needs to stick together through this.
And there are just so many stories of devastation from the people here in Johnson County. Jennifer McGraw spoke to a family who escaped their home before it was swept away by the floodwaters. She continues our Storm Tracker team coverage.
An unbelievable scene for so many out here, where you can see a house once stood here and there's practically nothing that's salvageable in the whole stretch of the 8 miles.
This is awful. We've lost everything. Everybody has.
The Hitchcocks say the road up through Flat Gap is unrecognizable. The water rose so quickly, by the time they got out of the creek, it turned into a raging river. They barely had a chance to react. Moments later, their son Josh captured this video of their neighbor's home smashing into the bridge.
When it came out the other side of the bridge, it was nothing but lumber. You couldn't tell it was a house.
This is the bridge that you saw in the video where the house smashed into a million little pieces. And as you can see, it's all over the lawn, stretching down the creek. Here's another house. This is where the Hitchcocks lived. Now their house is on the other side. This is just one of hundreds of stories, people dealing with pain and the damage and destruction from this storm. Covering the news here in Johnson County from the LEX18 mobile newsroom, back to you.
The Hitchcocks have a GoFundMe page set up. Log on to our website, LEX18.com, if you'd like to help. Disaster recovery centers have been set up to help people who lost everything during the storms. Our chief meteorologist, Bill Meck, is live at Johnson Central High School where they're collecting donations. Bill?
Johnson Central is the collection point. It is also the point where it is being delivered from. So everything that you're doing there in central Kentucky, this is where it's going to wind up in eastern Kentucky. And as you look around, you can see we've got lots of folks out here who have been volunteering throughout the day today, getting folks what they need, but also as folks have been arriving, they have been the ones who have been taking the stuff from them, just the local deliveries. Now, of course, when the big truck gets here tomorrow, there'll be a whole lot of folks here making sure that everything that you're doing to help these folks out gets to where it needs to be. The stories have been amazing out of here. I mean, just heartbreaking, some of the things that we've been hearing in terms of the devastation here in and around Johnson County. A little bit outside of downtown Paintsville is where the worst of this has been. All in all, the damage has been severe, but the folks here are trying to persevere as best they can, as Eastern Kentuckians do. We're going to go and talk about more about this LEX18 caravan, and we'll do that more here from Johnson Central in just a little bit.
All right, Bill, thanks. And LEX18 and the Salvation Army have teamed up to collect donations for the flood victims. Nancy Cox is live at the Richmond Road Kroger in Lexington, where you can help make a difference in the LEX18 caravan. Nancy?
Kevin, the cavalry's arrived, so to speak. We've got our second truck that has moved in. It's going to go back and pick up some water that Kroger is donating, a very important item, as you heard Bill talk about. But we have a little bit of everything coming in: pet food, baby food, lots of water, lots of paper goods, which are very needed. We're getting folks bringing flashlights. That is a fabulous idea. And batteries. People need basically everything. If you can imagine going into survival mode yourself. And you know, we watch things on the news every day and you feel bad about them and you think, what's going on in the world? Well, that kind of devastation came to our doorstep this week with these floods, but there is something we can do. We don't have to sit back helplessly. You can give. We have lists of items that these folks need. You can take it right in Kroger, buy what you want to donate, and we'll even haul it out here for you in the cart and put it in the trucks. We have some folks just driving up and popping their trunks, and we're unloading for them. Others want to stay and chat for a while. So we'll help you if you'll just turn out. We'll take all this stuff to the people who need it so desperately in Eastern Kentucky. We hope you'll help us. Kevin, back to you.
And that's why we call it Making a Difference. The National Weather Service has spent the day in Rowan and Fleming counties assessing yesterday's damage. Kelsey Borza continues our Storm Tracker team coverage.
Today we learned what ripped through Fleming County last night, causing massive damage, was actually a mix of straight-line winds and an EF1 tornado. You would think it'd be the tornado responsible for this mess that sent 3 people to the hospital, but meteorologists say it was actually straight-line winds around 100 miles per hour.
Most people focus on the word tornado, and they think if it's not a tornado, it's not that bad, but this is proof positive that folks need to heed severe thunderstorm warnings.
Meteorologists say by looking at this fence line and seeing the debris stuck along the fence in a straight line back, that's how they determined what caused all this damage.
But based on the damage, I don't see any signs of rotation, you know, things being turned in a circular manner there.
They did find signs of a tornado, though, less than a mile away on Harn Road, where this barn was damaged. Over in Rowan County, Edwards says straight-line winds brought down dozens of trees at these homes along US 60.
You couldn't see, there was wind swirling and trees and limbs and stuff flying everywhere, and so I just sort of ducked.
Most of the trees were uprooted from the ground, but Edwards says some snapped in half, which tells him these winds were traveling 80 to 90 miles per hour. Covering the news, Kelsey Borza, LEX18 News.
Well, it's going to be a long road to recovery for the storm survivors in Johnson County. Chief Meteorologist Bill Meck joins us live again from Johnson Central High School, where all of those donations collected are headed. Bill?
Indeed they are, and the process is already underway with folks who have donated locally. And of course, when the trucks from Central Kentucky arrive, that'll be just that much more help for the folks who so desperately do need it out here after the devastation earlier in the week. The flooding was incredible, to say the least. The good news, if you're looking for that, as the relief efforts are underway, you are looking at weather that's going to be cooperating for us. So that's what we're talking about in our big weather story. No more weather aware for a while. That is certainly some good news. We have had more of that than we would care to even think about of late. MaxTrack Live Doppler helps to show that for us. Not anything going on this afternoon. There have been a couple little sprinkles. That's been about it. Your temperatures, those are hovering around 80. It's actually a very pleasant afternoon throughout most of central and eastern Kentucky. By 11 o'clock, we'll be somewhere around 70 with the sky clearing out. So again, we're out here at Johnson Central High School in Paintsville with the LEX18 Caravan. Kevin, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Bill. And we'll check back with the LEX18 Making a Difference Caravan. And coming up next, the latest about a death investigation. A woman's body found inside a Lexington home.
You're watching LEX18 News at 6.
The death of a Lexington woman found in her home yesterday has been ruled a homicide. The Fayette County Coroner's Office says Shirley Clemens died from asphyxiation. The family says the 64-year-old was wrapped in a sheet or blanket inside her home on River Park Circle. At this point, there have been no arrests. A crook used an unusual weapon to hold up a Lexington gas station, almost as unique as the hat he wore. Kristen Flum has the photos in this Crime Stoppers report.
The large kitchen knife this robber used during the June 7th holdup at Thornton's on Woodhill suggests to police that maybe this was a spur-of-the-moment crime. Then again, he seems to have put some thought into his head-to-toe disguise with the shirt over his face and blue kitchen or winter-type gloves. Store cameras never really got a good look at the man's face, but Lexington police are hoping that you may recognize this unique hat that he was wearing when he held the place up.
If you might be a friend or an acquaintance, or maybe this is your boyfriend or significant other husband, you would probably be familiar with these items or articles of clothing. From the time he entered the store around 5 a.m., he held that butcher knife where the clerk could see it. But at first, she didn't seem too concerned. She was hesitant to comply with his instructions, and you can see on the camera at first that she kind of holds the money and makes him grab it, and there's a little bit of a struggle for the money for a second. Then he kind of uses that knife and puts it at her, and it's like, hey, give me this cash. And now it's time to pay for the crime. Covering Crime Stoppers, Kristen Flum, LEX18 News.
Crime Stoppers is offering a cash reward for information that leads to an arrest. Call the Crime Stoppers tip line at 859-253-2020. Live updates about the latest donations from Lexington to Johnson County next on LEX18 News at 6.
We are here at Johnson Central High School in Paintsville. This is the delivery point for everything that you are doing in central Kentucky today as part of the LEX18 Caravan. Now you can see over my shoulder here, they have the flag here at Johnson Central. Not much breeze blowing in that, but you can see that it is at half staff. That is because this unfortunately has been a disaster where lives have been lost here in Johnson County. For those who are cleaning up, those who are picking up, those who are trying to get their lives back together, this is where everything is coming to. And again, at Johnson Central, we've got the water deliveries, we've got people dropping off, we've got people picking up, and it's an ongoing process and one that we will be adding to tomorrow when our caravan arrives here at Johnson Central. If you're looking for one piece of good news out of all this, is that our weather will cooperate. We are done with the bad weather for a while. In fact, when we go to the MaxTrack Live Doppler, not much to show you here. It is going to remain nice and quiet for us as we go through the rest of the week. In fact, what you are looking at with this is a system now where the things have quieted down. What we're highlighting for you is that tonight turns cooler. What that's a sign of, the humidity's lowering. That's going to help end the cycle of all this rain. Through the rest of the week, it stays dry. Now, there could be an isolated shower trying to pop up, especially late Friday. It's a really small chance. And when we get to the weekend, it actually acts like summertime. It gets hot, it gets humid, and yeah, there'll be a couple of thunderstorms around, but it's summertime stuff where you see the little pop-up here and there, not the deluge, not the horrible severe weather that we were enduring. Now, as you look to the satellite, we did have some clouds pop up today. Storm-making clouds, those are now well to our north and west and also well to our south and west. Everything has cleared out. The big front that was plaguing us has been pushed away, more or less lost its energy, at least in our part of the front, as that high ridged in. Now, as we go into tonight and tomorrow, a little warm front tries to come back north, but it will not have the same vigor that it had when it was hanging around us earlier in the week. So there is your chance for thunderstorms popping up later in the day, especially as we head toward Friday and Saturday. But again, those chances will remain small and isolated. It's a warm afternoon, not overly hot. We're right around 80 in most places. Humidity is still enough that you notice it, but we have cut it compared to where we have been. 79 right now in Lexington. The heat index comes in at 81. High today was 80. Look at that rain. We're only at the middle of the month. We're already over 7 inches of rain. That's just Lexington. There were places in the last 5 days here in eastern Kentucky, some of the automated gauges were over 6 inches just in 5 days. So again, it's just a tremendous amount of water, and we ran out of places to put it. Tonight, the sky will clear. The temperature is pleasant. We head down to the low 60s. Your day tomorrow, one that will be partly sunny. It'll be getting warmer, but still pretty good humidity. Mid-80s tomorrow. We get you to Friday. We're in the low 90s, partly sunny. It gets hotter over the weekend with temperatures flirting with 90. Throughout the weekend, best chance of thunderstorms. They'll just be isolated. That's going to be on Saturday. We did some quick calculations. We made some assumptions along the way just to let you know how much water this was. We assumed 1 square mile of water with 3 inches of rain as an average. That's 52 million gallons of water that got funneled down into the valley. That's why we saw the devastation that we did. Kevin?
Unbelievable. Thank you, Bill. Meanwhile, here in Lexington, the donations are piling up. Nancy Cox is live at the Richmond Road Kroger with the LEX18 Caravan Collection Campaign. And Nancy, that second truck rolled in just in the nick of time, didn't it?
It sure did, and we may be talking about a third, because while the need is unbelievable, the outpouring of generosity is also unbelievable. Folks, all ages, from all over central Kentucky. One couple drove up here from Richmond just to help us out, and we're filling up the truck. We're trying to take in every square inch we can. You still have time, though. We're going to be here till 8 o'clock, and a lot of people have been asking, well, what about this? What about that? One lady brought up cat litter. Well, yeah, that is a need. Folks with their pets and their babies, diapers, wipes, baby food, all that kinds of things. We have a list for you: blankets, pillows, flashlights, just about anything you can think of. And one lady was so kind with this idea. She left index cards, and she's asking people to maybe write a message of hope and support on these and stick them into some of these items. I love that idea. People need to know that there are those out here who want to make a difference. Kevin?
Thank you, Nancy. And you can help LEX18 make a difference. Log on to LEX18.com for that list of items you can donate to help the Johnson County flood victims, or you can pick one up right at the Kroger on Richmond Road. Well, Kentucky had its turn today at SEC Media Days. Coach Stoops and the players addressed what's driving them this offseason to be better. That's next in LEX18 Sports.
If you want to play and be successful in the SEC, you have to be able to deal with pressure. For the first time since Mark Stoops arrived, there is an added pressure the team seems to be embracing. Alan Cutler has more from SEC Media Days in Birmingham.
This isn't a TV room. This is for newspapers and internet. Every seat at one point in time is going to be taken. This event is huge. It's also huge what Kentucky is facing this year. Pressure. Finally, pressure. Bowl game or bust. That's what many of the players believe is the key for the season.
I think about winning a bowl game probably every day, so that's our team goal, and Coach Stoops has laid that out for us, and that's what we're striving for.
We need to find a way, those 3-4 plays that you have the ability to make, we have to make those plays when the games are on the line to get us over the hump.
Every loss to me eats at me. I hate losing more than I love winning, so it's that fire in me that wants to win just so I don't lose, you know. My roommates and I talk about it all the time and how that's something we were dying for, you know.
Stat of the day: 2 years ago, 5 players could run 19 miles an hour. Today, it's 33. Physically speaking, it's a tremendous change.
But this offseason, we've just been working super hard, and there's those workouts that you'll be 3/4 of the way through and you don't think you can finish it because it's that tough, but you do. So I think we've gotten a lot tougher this offseason, a lot faster, a lot stronger, and so I'm excited for this year.
No one should doubt or question that Kentucky is going to be bigger, stronger, and faster. But the question remains, will that be good enough to get to a bowl game? In Birmingham with the Cats, Alan Cutler, LEX18 Sports.
Thank you, Alan. And UK punter Landon Foster has been named to the Werfel Watch List, an annual award that goes to college football's top community servant. Foster, a senior from Tennessee, has traveled to Ethiopia for service missions and has helped programs with God's Pantry and Kentucky Children's Hospital locally. LEX18 News will be right back.
LEX18 Making a Difference Caravan here at the Richmond Road Kroger until 8 o'clock tonight. You can make a difference. Large or small, we need your donations for these folks who have lost everything and need to clean up and move on. We have a second truck here, so don't worry, we have plenty of room. Kevin?
The generosity of our viewers and the power of LEX18. You can count on it in times of need. Nightly News is next. We hope to see you again on Evening Edition at 7 and on LEX18 News at 11. Have a good evening.
Count on LEX18.com for the latest news, sports, and your Storm Tracker forecast.